Wind, storm surge, and extremely heavy rainfall created catastrophic conditions across Florida, increasing the risk of life-threatening flash flooding as well. Last night, the powerful winds ripped off the ceiling of the Tropicana Field Stadium, ripped it to shreds. Floridians who did not evacuate have been advised to hunker down as the still dangerous storm moves around the state.
CBS News' Christian Benavides is in Tampa this morning as this city faces one of the most powerful storms ever to hit that region. Christian, it looks like the sun's not quite up yet, but what are you seeing right now?
Heather and Shayla, good morning. At this point, it appears that Hurricane Milton for the Tampa Bay area has been primarily a wind event. You mentioned the roof off of Tropicana Field. There's also reports of a crane that collapsed in the middle of St. Petersburg, which is about 30 minutes west of where we're located. There was so much concern that this debris could potentially clog up the storm drains. But to give you a sense of where we're at, we're around the corner from Tampa General Hospital. You may recall from that viral video of the floodwaters that were just going up against the flood barriers. That's where we're currently located. So certainly here, they're not seeing the level of flooding that they saw with Helene 2 weeks ago. Hurricane Milton came roaring ashore on Florida's west coast overnight, bringing with it life-threatening winds, heavy rains, and dangerous storm surge.
I hear a lot of wind outside.
Bradenton resident Angie Samaro and her family are riding out the storm at home, located outside of the evacuation zone.
We knew that we wanted to stay
Closer to the Gulf Coast in Newport Richey, residents and their pets took shelter in this middle school gym.
We take this stuff serious, and we live in a flood zone.
In the days leading up to the storm, millions were urged to evacuate. Last night, Florida's governor said it's too late for those who did not heed those earlier warnings.
It's too dangerous to evacuate safely, so you have to shelter in place and just hunker down.
Already, there are reports of deaths, injuries, and extensive property damage after tornadoes swept through parts of the state ahead of Milton's arrival. In Tampa, the storm struck here as residents were still cleaning up from Helene and dumped 3 to 5 inches of rain an hour.
We've got your back.
Yesterday, President Joe Biden said the federal government has millions of meals, water, and thousands of personnel on the ground for response. Tropicana Field had been set up as a base for National Guard and emergency workers earlier this week. Last night, strong winds ripped the stadium's roof to shreds. Now, Milton made landfall about an hour south of us. There is potential for life-threatening storm surge south of the eye of the storm. That means communities like Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel Island, which were decimated 2 years ago by Hurricane Ian, could potentially see some of the worst impacts from Hurricane Milton.
Christian, thank you.